एक थप्पड़ से क्या फर्क पड़ता है? It doesn't bother them. What they don't realize is if they have children, your children are watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, they are seeing that. If they are seeing either your mom or the father, and I'll say both here, because even violence is not gender based. I know there are men who are beaten by their wives. I know there are wives who are beaten. Of course, the number of wives getting beaten is more than men, but
yes,
nonetheless, it happens to men too. Men are, victims of physical abuse too, and mental abuse. I think men face more mental abuse than
emotional.
physical. Yeah, mental emotional abuse is worse in men than, that doesn't go that much. So yeah. Now, because of that, if they're seeing their parents go through that, and if children are the reason you're keeping your mouth shut, how is it helping? What are you telling your child? It's okay to be beaten. It's okay to be, that's what they'll do ahead in their marriage. So, do you want your child to be hit? You want your, child to go through mental abuse? You want, what are you exactly telling your child?
Today's topic is going to be very sensitive, taboo, gossip. A lot of people are going to learn a lot of things from it. Relationships. What is it? How does it work? Going through the bad phase of life, the divorce, you may or may not have help. You might be feeling broken down. You might be feeling alone. Because there comes a time in anyone's life where you do feel alone and you felt like, I wish that did not happen. And everything turns out to this one particular point, which we'll be covering in this particular podcast of today. Make sure you stay with us till the end because this podcast is going to be amazing. Today with us, we have Aparnaa Jadhav, who is relationship resilience coach. She does not only help you come across in a way where you can lighten yourself down, but also help you heal emotionally and mentally. How does she do that? What does she do? Continue watching till the end. All right, Aparnaa. I'm glad to have you on my show, Kabirr Vani. It's going to be a very easy conversation with you today because we are more friends than a podcaster or more of a guest. So I think we're going to have a very cool conversation. Although we are getting into the topic which is the most tabooed or the most gossiped. I don't know. You have to clear that out because either way, like either people don't talk about the word divorce.
Yes.
It's like divorce. I don't know what you thought it about. Or they go like, अरे बाप रे उसका divorce हो रहा है. अरे तेरे को पता चला उसका divorce हो रहा है. So it's either or it's both there. So let's get some light on it and let's make it an untabooed. I don't think we can make it not gossip. I think it'll even become more gossiping, right? But we can try to make it untabooed, right? And we'll see that if that kind of helps out. We'll start with who you are. So you're Aparnaa Jadhav. You're a relationship resilience coach. You have written a book, Paradise Suck, a very hardcore name that you have got there.
Yeah.
And there's Thrive After Divorce Ladies. 2 questions. आप divorce करवाते हो? And why ladies? Why are you being gender biased here?
None of the two, my dear. None of the two. Now, divorce basically because, been there, done that. I've been through, a divorce situation myself. I'm a single mom, as you're aware. My daughter is now 16. And the process was very long and lengthy for me. And I thought, especially during COVID, you had so much time on hand. Like, what am I supposed to do? And this thought that I need to help people, I need to, somehow get across to people was so much on my mind that I had to put it down. Now, for me, writing is the best way I can connect to people.
Okay.
So, because of that, that's how the book actually came into existence. That's how the thought also of divorce, about the book. The book, though it is based on my life. I mean, you've read the book.
Yes,
though it's based on my life, it's not exactly my life. It's a fictional. There are a lot of fiction in it. A lot of tips for people, who are going through that phase. But I thought there's so much taboo behind this word. The moment you even say, "Arey, I might be thinking about it," or I could be heading towards divorce, and there's so much of it's like opening a Pandora's box somewhere in your home, in wherever you are. Like, oh my God, this one is actually talking about divorce, and I think that needs to change. I mean, which century are we in? Look at the way our life is. It's okay if you break up, but it's not okay. You can understand the idea that two people who are dating can break up. That's something accepted. Okay, happens. But two individuals who are literally bound legally, who are maybe in a mess, it's not okay for them to separate. What is the logic behind it? If they are not okay, they are not okay. And I mean, when I was going through it, I face a lot of issues like finance, how to, because I was a single mom, I wasn't working, I was a homemaker when I left my house. How to manage money, how to earn, how to handle the legalities, how will I raise my daughter alone? No help from anyone. How was I going to do it? All those questions were so, high on my mind that after I was kind of towards the end of my journey, when I looked back, I felt like, oh my God, there's so much I went through, and there's so many people who would just randomly approach me, just asking me, how did you handle it? And it would help them. That's how the book actually came into being. Now, about why it is ladies. your question, I remember you'd asked me this earlier also. A question about ladies is because when I wrote the book, honestly, I thought women would relate to it more than men. We need to understand over here, Kabir, is that in India, I think I will take India as well. Maybe it's a worldwide phenomena, but the situation that a woman faces and what a man faces after divorce is very different. And this I'm not talking about the emotional issues here.
Okay.
Emotional issues, of course, a man is also equally broken as much as a woman is, most of the time. However, there are so many practical issues that are there between in this entire thing. Like especially in India, most of the women do not work. They are homemakers. Like, I was a homemaker. For me, it was like a restarting my life from scratch. Whereas my husband was working, at least financially he sorted. Apart from that, there's also, the way society looks at it. Society also looks at a woman as though, oh my God. Whereas a man, it's accepted. For a man, it's a new life. He can look at a new life. If the woman has a child or something, life over. I'm not saying literally life over. Of course, you start your life, but it is starting from scratch. Which is why I thought, women would relate more to it. Surprisingly, I have so many men who have read it and have told me, this I was applying to me also. Why did you write ladies? I didn't realize it when but then my first book, so
Okay.
you can understand.
Time to change his name.
The
version 2 needs to come out.
It's working on something like that.
Okay, cool,
Actually,
cool.
I'm working on something for single parents. I was also thinking of single mom, and I'm like, no, I'm going to say single parents
Yeah,
this time.
you're gonna get bombarded.
Oh yeah, you better. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool,
what
cool.
I'm going.
No. So great. So I'm surprised, and I'm really happy to know that you the book is somewhat related to what you have been through your life.
Yeah.
And divorce is a very difficult journey a person can go through. Yes, a breakup becomes an easier because it's kind of like, okay, chalo ho gaya. There's no legality for, there's no families involved. Aajkal live-in relationship be somewhat like that has happened. But when it comes to the marriage,
Yes.
the divorce, the word marriage in the divorce, the divorce is either celebrated or not celebrated. It's kind of like that. So, okay, so to finalize this, so you do not get people divorced. आप divorce नहीं करवाते.
जी नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. I actually tell people, work on your marriage. However, after doing everything, if you really think you have come to a point, that बस इससे आगे मैं नहीं जा सकती हूँ या नहीं जा सकता हूँ. I have done everything I can, and it's just not working. It's just not working. If you have reached that point, you might as well at least separate for some time, take a distance, and see if you want to get back together. If not, then might as well move on.
And that is okay.
Of course it is. You have one life, damn it. You have just one life to live. Why would you be in a relationship that is toxic? Why would you be in a relationship that is giving you pain. You are in pain, your partner is in pain, and the most, I would say, stupid. Okay, I would clearly tell you stupid. Stupid excuse people have is, what about mera family, meri mother, meri father? Okay, fine, you lived their life, damn it. What about your life? After you die, are you, and I will go to that extent because that's how I think. The day you're dying, the moment you're dying, are you really thinking about your parents? Or are you thinking what life you led? When you are talking about your life, you're so unhappy in a marriage. Why continue with something and then go ahead and remove that frustration? Either it's out on your children or it's out on your, spouse or everyone around. Why would you do that? Rather, go ahead, take a clean break. Move on ahead. You might meet someone who you actually gel with, right? I think that's much better.
Cool, I understand. And I really can relate to a lot of things that you have said. So I have so many questions that related to what you just said, right? Let's start with you being a homemaker or a person being a homemaker where, the husband is the earning member, the wife is home, she's cooking, she's taking care of the kids, the home, which is the most difficult part a person can do. How does one know? Okay, now you know what? She's tired of it. And not because she's a homemaker, but she's not able to understand that the connection between her husband and her itself has gone to a next level. When does she know that, okay, this is the limit? And how would she know? Because she's just a homemaker, right? So how does she gets out of being a homemaker and an average middle class person who cannot think of, कि मैं अभी क्या करूँगी, मैं कैसे आगे बढ़ूँगी, how will I earn, how will I, because I don't want to lose my kids, so how will I get to that level? So how person does that? Or how does, let's not keep it a woman part because it can be men as well, although they are very separate. So let's have a different topic for both. So how can we do that?
So you're referring to people who are in toxic marriages and they want to move out? Is that what you're asking, or you're asking about people who want to work on that marriage?
Let's start
these
with
are two different.
let's start with both. Let's start with working part and let's talk. Let's go from there.
See, ideally, Kabir, if a person, if it's a married couple, I would never ask people to just jump into separation or divorce unless there are certain toxic traits that are like so evident. If there is physical abuse, if there is any kind of sexual abuse, there's mental torture, where if these things are happening, then yes, dude, you need to take a clean break.
Right.
There is no two ways about that. Couple to couple, while people say, sometimes, like, I am totally against physical abuse. I cannot stand it. And that's how it should be. But there are people who will still tell you, ek thappad se kya farak padta hai. It doesn't bother them. What they don't realize is if they have children, your children are watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, they are seeing that. If they are seeing either your mom or the father, and I'll say both here, because even violence is not gender based. I know there are men who are beaten by their wives. I know there are wives who are beaten. Of course, the number of wives getting beaten is more than men, but
yes,
nonetheless, it happens to men too. Men are, victims of physical abuse too, and mental abuse. I think men face more mental abuse than physical. Yeah, mental emotional abuse is worse in men than, that doesn't go that much. So yeah. Now, because of that, if they're seeing their parents go through that, and if children are the reason you're keeping your mouth shut, how is it helping? What are you telling your child? It's okay to be beaten. It's okay to be, that's what they'll do ahead in their marriage. So do you want your child to be hit? You want your, child to go through mental abuse? You want, what are you exactly telling your child? That's nothing to be.
Exactly.
Now, coming to your question, if that person is a homemaker, what do they do? See, ideally, we need to understand that we live in a very practical world. In a place like India, we need to take the extremes. Reason I'll tell you extremes is because if you are lucky, your family will support you. If you're not that lucky, your family will not support you. It can go either ways, right? I mean, your family might not. In the event your family might, you will always be under their thinking, oh, we did this for you, we helped you in spite of that, and you will have other type of tortures where they don't agree with your reason for divorce as such or reason for separation. They are not happy, but क्या करें, अभी बेटा बेटी ने कर लिया है तो हम उनको सुनाएंगे जिंदगी भर. You know how that is what happens. That's what people do. That's what people here face. You will be told 10,000 times how you're not good enough by your relatives, let it be your, your social circle, whether you are a man or a woman. इसमें कुछ तो खोट है, which is so. मतलब अगर शादी नहीं चली इस बंदे में या बंदी में खोट है. What is the link? What is? I don't understand. If two people don't get along well, that is what it is. At the crux of it, two people are just not getting along well. So if that is what is happening, what is the sense of those two people continuing their life and making your life miserable just because I'll keep 10 people happy who are not even related to me? Why would I do that? So this couple who's taken the decision of breaking up, if the wife is a homemaker especially, she first needs to see whether she has support in her family. It starts with that. If she has support, fine, at least she has a place to stay. Because that's how it works. Where are you going to go after you break up or after you divorce? Where are you going to go and stay? If you have a child, are you even going to have a roof over your head? You have to think on those lines. After that, you come to a point, okay, and all this thinking needs to be done before you leave. For heaven's sake, don't do it after you leave. I did the mistake of doing it. I'm leaving, and then I'm like, oh my, where do I stay?
Did I just do that?
Did I just do that? I did that. And I'm telling you, it was the biggest mistake of my life. Biggest mistake, because learning lesson, it was a learning lesson, but it was a huge mistake because you end up you assume that your family will be there. You assume, not like my family wasn't there. Okay, but there was a span, and that span was when I needed my family the most. Okay, and then during that span, some were there, some were not there. Especially my father, who was my strongest pillar, who has always been my strongest pillar till date. I mean, in spite of that 1 year that he just didn't take me home because he was, no, you are going to go back. That's all he had to talk about. You are going to go back to your husband. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And it was about, him understanding my point. But I never in my dreams thought that my dad's house would not be open to me. And it wasn't.
Right.
So because I faced that personally, and someone like me who comes from a quite broad-minded family. So my dad wasn't a narrow-minded person at all. I am what I am thanks to my father, But in spite of that, he had that reaction. I can't imagine what happens to people who are not so-called broad-minded because they can't accept it. They just can't accept. And if that is the situation, the lady has to first stand up on her feet, which it means financially fit.
Right.
Now, if you are someone, there has to be something you are good at. Something. Let it be meals. Let it be cooking. Let it be do something side by side to start. I mean, this is if you are planning, because such thing needs to be planned, honestly. Right. Call it stupid, call it manipulative, I don't care. But you need to, come out of it nicely. And if you want to come out of it nicely, it starts with building these pillars in your life, and financial pillar is the most important in my eyes, because once your finances are in place, everything falls in place for you. But if your finance is not there, nowadays there are so many options for people sitting at home and earning. There are. Yes. You just need to be innovative. Nowadays, government is helping women Absolutely. So much. There are so many schemes that are coming up that are there for women. Without, as long as you have a business plan, I'm sure every woman has some talent. Even if she's uneducated, there'll be something she's good at.
Stitching,
if nothing,
cooking
is the best. I mean, कुछ भी नहीं तो खाना तो बनाने को बंदी को आता ही है बस. तो चपाती रोटी बना के दे दो. There are people who require that kind of so something that you need to use your mind to work with. First, you need to see if you have where you're going to stay, roof on your head. Very important. Second, how are you going to start earning? That is the most, these two, once these two are handled, then you talk about the emotional healing. What happens most of the time is people do these two and the emotional healing is never taken care of. And emotional healing, I think, is very important, very, very important, because without emotional healing, I feel a person just doesn't come out of it completely and can never ever again trust someone else, or be open to a relationship unless that person is not emotionally healed.
Okay.
So that is the flow is what I would tell you, how to go. But yeah, a person answering your question, sorry, I just go haywire in that, but but answering your question, yeah, the first thing I would say is start earning, find ways,
Start
find.
earning. So this becomes very interesting, right? So okay, start earning. Now, what happens here is that, of course, she's a homemaker, like she has two kids, one kid, whatever. So, but how does she figure out that what she could earn? How can she get help? Can she get help, or should she get help?
She should get help.
How she gets help?
See, as I said, there are so many government schemes. There are people you can talk to. There are coaches. Nowadays, there is help everywhere. There's Google, for heaven's sake.
Can she come to you for help?
Of course.
You can.
I am, of course, here to help. I am, that is my work. My work as a relationship resilience coach is basically that, where I help you, uh, help you in different, whatever your problem is. I help you step by step coming out of it. Let it be, we sit together, we understand, okay, this is your plus point, this is your minus point. How are we supposed to, track that entire? That is what I work on.
Okay.
But my forte would be emotional healing.
Emotionally.
So that is what I specialize in. I do not specialize in legalities, the legal. While I can help you out with that,
Right.
I can guide you. Maybe this is the better option for you. I can guide you through my contacts. I can put you on to people. I can do all of that for you.
Right.
Even where finance is concerned, I can guide you through all. However, my forte is emotional healing. So
Okay.
that is what I specialize and I focus on,
Okay.
because I feel that is just, that help is not there.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
absolutely. How about counseling?
Counseling is a part of the emotional
Okay.
healing.
But like a
I
psychologist?
not really. So I have, see, my personal experience with and I do not want any psychologist to come back at me with it, but I have not been lucky enough, you can say, to find a good counselor.
Okay.
I have not, because it's not helped me in my life. Um, I have either had people tell me what they want me to do,
Okay.
which they'll say, well, that's not counseling. While I know that's not counseling, but I've had counselors tell me that.
Okay.
Okay, this is what I think you should do. You don't know my life. How can you tell me? How can you tell me anything? You don't know what state I am in.
Yeah.
How can you tell me to do
Or
whatever?
they say, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, how do I feel? I'm feeling shitty about it. So
Right.
I personally felt that and apart from that, it's also, you can say, maybe my nature, where I am not very comfortable talking everything to another person. I'm not by nature an open book. I'm a very closed person. That added, because that is added to my nature, I really cannot open up fully to a counselor. Maybe that is the reason. I don't know what it is, but it just didn't help me.
Right.
So what I was looking for at that time was someone who could somehow help me. So I came up with this, where they can. I mean, my courses are very self-paced.
Okay. And okay. So how does one reach you, or how can they find your courses?
Of course, you can go log on to my website, www.aparnaajadhav.com.
Okay.
I'm on Insta at aparnaajadhav.coach,
Okay.
and on Facebook. So
Okay.
yeah, get in touch, DM me. I'm here to help.
Okay, so they can reach out to you by reaching to your website, and Greg will put that on our comment section. That will be great. So now coming to the emotional healing part, right? And with emotional healing, of course, it matters that the other person should also be willing to work with. Now, what happens many times is that the person has decided, okay, मुझे तो करना है, but it's one-sided. The person, like, if wife has decided, the husband does not have any clue. That's going to happen, or the other vice versa. at what point they should go and consult with their own spouse first? Okay, bhai, this is what I'm feeling. Because what happens a lot of time is that the person, the marriage is there. The concept of love marriage chalo hota hai, unfortunately this happens in love marriage as well. But let's say a person is arranged to, right? Now the connection is not that great. So how does a person approach to that particular significant other? Okay, here's a problem and we need to solve it. Until what time you feel that okay, this is it, अब इससे ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है. How do one create that boundary? And that can be a healthy boundary we can consult with. How does that work?
So, see, in my eyes, healthy boundaries are a must for any relationship to work.
Right.
Okay. What do you mean by healthy boundaries? To begin with, I think people don't realize what healthy boundaries means. Healthy boundaries is simple. What I'm not comfortable with, I don't allow that. I just don't allow it. Now, does that mean I am not accommodating enough for my partner? Because of course you need to have your lifestyle changes. For example, if you are, say, someone who is living alone in a house always, you are someone who stays alone. You're used to your home being your home, throwing your stuff the way you want.
Right.
That is your life. But you are married now. Of course, that's not going to happen. Maybe your wife is not like that. She likes cleanliness. You have to change. That's a necessity. Yeah. However, say you have this particular habit of having say you are a reader and say you have a bookshelf and you want it that way. It's your bookshelf. You want it that way. So, and your wife decides to mess up with it. I'm giving a very basic example, okay? There are, of course, you take it as intense as you want it, but based on this, and wants to mess up with it. Thinks, okay, nahi, ye book ye order mein chahiye. Nahi, mere ko ye order mein chahiye. That's when you come and say, boss, ये मेरा boundary है, तो इसको cross मत कर भाई, तो इसको हाथ मत लगा. ये मेरा ऐसा ही रहने दे, तेरे को घर दिया है, घर संभाल, ये मत कर.
Right.
You're understanding. So there you are accommodating enough to keep your house clean because your partner is important to you.
Right.
You are starting a new life. You have to obviously change. But that is a no-no. That's a complete no. Or maybe your Xbox. You don't touch it. It's not got, you don't know how to play Xbox. Why are you touching my Xbox? It's as simple as that. Don't. Those are sort, it's vice versa with women. Women have their own quirks. बस मेरे मेकअप के बॉक्स पे हाथ मत लगा, तुम क्यों लगा रहे हो, तुमको क्या मालूम है इसके बारे में? Don't comment. Don't talk about it. It's not your business. That is what I call, and this you can take it as intense as you want. I'm angry. I'm having a fight with my husband, and my husband or my wife. Let's take it wife. Why is the man always tortured? Let's take the wife. Wife has no control on her emotions and lashes out and gives one attack.
Oh my God.
Yeah, husband says right over there, no, this is not what I'm gonna tolerate at all, no matter what happens. He has the option over there of, the first time, stop. It stops over there.
Right.
Happens again, I'm not gonna tolerate.
Right.
But he needs to take that action right over there. That's where you stress. Put your boundary down. Next time when it happens, don't say, hey, ek baar maar liya, dusre baar bhi maar hi le bhai. Then that's going to continue in your life. So when I say boundaries, I'm talking about those boundaries. When you say something, stick to what you are going to follow. And that goes for everyone. That's how you even train anyone, right? I mean, even children. If you say something to a child, stick to that thing. Do not go, okay, 10 minute ke baad chocolate diya, topic khatam.
Right.
Don't do that. So those are boundaries you are talking about. When you want to talk to your husband or your spouse about say things are not okay in your marriage, or maybe you want to work on your marriage, I think the moment you feel there is something wrong, it's best to talk, in my eyes, because it's like it's like illness. ठीक है, सर्दी खांसी है, हाँ तो सर्दी खांसी है ना, मैं तो कुछ भी ले लूंगी, दवाई ले लूंगी और I'll be fine. You don't know what the heck you're suffering from. That सर्दी खांसी could go to God knows what. go to viral fever, could go to God knows what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop it while it is sardi khasi.
While you're fixed it, okay, this is what it is.
Right there, just whatever your issue is, I think the more you are in communication with your partner and you don't tolerate. The problem with Indian society is tolerance is considered as a virtue, which is good.
I think it's very high.
Yeah, it is rated so high, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no, but tolerance and being dumb are two different things. Tolerate is when you know where you are standing, when you know where you are, and you are letting the opposite person be. So you're in a way tolerating that right. But tolerance in matters where you are really unhappy and that thing is affecting you, it should be told to your partner. Who, if you're not going to share it with your partner, whom are you going to share it with? Most of the times, people don't share it with their partners. They will go and tell their best friends about it. But best friend kya karega? You have an issue with your wife or your husband, you should be talking to them. While it's a difficult, obviously a conversation is difficult. Obviously, it's gonna be heart wrenching. If it doesn't go the way you planned it, oh God, you can't imagine what ruckus might come out of it. While all that is true, but you have to have this dialogue between. It's better that you fight. It's better you sort that issue out instead of tolerate and keep quiet, because the more you keep it inside, the more it will poison you, the more it will poison your mind, and the more you'll go 10 times, 10 steps.
Deeper into it. And rather than going to your best friend or so-called best friend,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you might want to find a third party who can be unbiased.
Yes, of course.
Like
That
if someone comes to you, you don't know them either way. Because many times what happens is that in a society, when they get divorced, right? So you know the wife.
yeah,
Okay, so you're hearing the story out of the wife now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the truth. That's her truth. Then let's say your husband knows the husband, and then he's hearing the husband's part. Now it's truth. It's not a lie. It's his truth. It's his truth.
it's his truth. Of course, they're
The
looking
center
at
is the truth, which is nobody is worried about.
Of course.
Why that happened? What happened? What was the reason? So people don't get into that. So what kind of suggestion or what kind of thing they should look into this? Because this is a very problematic area. People don't focus on it. Because the person who knows the wife will start hating the husband. The person who knows the husband will start hating the wife. But nobody wants to know that what was the other side of the story. What actually happened? Did that person actually do something? No, they don't want to even. नहीं, बस उसने बोल दिया ना खत्म. वो उसने किया है या उसने करी है. Judgment made. That's it. They don't want to talk about it. So what can be a solution for that?
See, ideally, if you ask me, apart from a professional, uh, if the marriage is supposed to work, let me put it that way. Okay, why I'll tell you is because once you have separated, you need your own support group. Let it be a man or let it be a woman. They need their support group, and they need someone who looks at it from their angle.
Right.
They don't need someone who looks at it, in totality.
Right.
Who can look at it in totality is a professional who, or a coach. Like if you come to me, I would talk to you. I would talk to your wife, and I'll okay, this is what is happening. This is where they are, because I'm trained to see where they are going wrong.
Right. Right.
What is going wrong over there? They are probably telling me the same thing in different angles, and they're just, instead of talking to each other, they're not even. So because a lot of times I find, even if when I ask people the questions like, so did your husband say? No, my husband didn't say that. Then where did that thought come from? But he must have meant this.
Yeah.
Why do you? What makes you say that? Did he say it? No, he's not said. Did you ask him? No, I've not asked him. Then how did you base it? No, but I know he must have meant this only because he's like this only.
Did you ask him?
I didn't ask him. Most of the time, this is what happens.
Right.
Okay, because I am not discussing the issue with my husband. I am discussing with some third
The
person.
world.
Yeah, and they honestly, see, you can't blame the third person at all, because they will look at it that way. My family or my sisters, or my brothers, they will look at it from my angle. Why will they look at it from my husband's angle?
Absolutely.
His family will look at it from his side.
Or sometimes they could be the evil one, where
Yeah,
they want that to happen, and they're like,
exactly.
"Arey, what? I've got this chance." It's
Exactly.
like, I told you this marriage will not work. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Especially in the love marriages, this part happens.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. Very, very often in love marriages, I
yeah.
feel.
And then when
Because
you fight, they're the first people to come and like,
मैं तुमको बोला
मैंने
था
बोला था,
बोला था
ये करेगा जैसा. This is what's gonna happen. See, I told you.
So, which is why I personally feel that if when y'all are trying to work on your marriage, last thing you do is talk to a third person who is not a professional.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourself. Okay. If you want a third person who is not a professional, please talk to that person when both of you are there, so that they understand, okay, what is happening. Of course, they yet can't. Even then, it will be biased towards one person. But at least there's some context. You are also equally. So, it doesn't make sense to me that, you talk with your friends. I don't know how it helps, honestly. If you ask me, it doesn't help. Unless they know you in and out, even then it doesn't help. Ideally, if you ask me, go to a counselor, go to a professional for it, or talk to your partner. I think talking to your partner is the most important. If you feel there, if it's not happening, if you are at a point that, okay, bas ho gaya, abhi mere ko nahi ho raha, I've tried to tell, I've tried to make that person understand, I've done everything I can. Then if you have decided to, then maybe go and tell your sister, your whoever, your best friend, whoever, tell them that, because then of course you need someone to listen to you. You need someone to be on your side. You need someone to, arrange kuch nahi yaar. You need that pat on your back, of course. But if you're working on your marriage, that's not what you should be doing.
Speak to your spouse first.
Yeah, most important. Speak to them first. Most of the time they are not aware. Everyone else is aware कि कुछ हो रहा है इधर. Which is not right, man. Which is not justified also. That, if there are issues happening, you tell to your spouse first. Try to sort those questions first with them, not with. So,
The other way. Now let's coming to speaking to your spouse first. So first thing would be communication. That is the most important factor that we need to have. Sometimes you're saying something and then other person is hearing something.
yeah.
So coming to it, how a person can fix communication between each other. And coming to, my friend has written this book, wonderful book. It's a meditation mastery pledge.
Okay.
Rahul Sitpura and Hetal Sitpura, they're husband and wife, and wonderful couple that I know. Now he's written this book, which I was kind of reading through. It has an episode, the chapter 3, where it says meditation for relationship.
So,
Yes, and he's talking about where meditation is done by one person and not done by another person. So one person is kind of emotionally being stronger, powerful. Of course, meditation makes you that way.
yeah.
But the other person is not. Does doing meditation together, does really that work?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
please, like, how would that work, and how can one do a meditation together?
See, I don't know what. I mean, it's very interesting thing. I'm take a copy of this from you.
Absolutely.
But see, personally, I know meditation helps you evolve your. I mean, not just spiritually, your energy levels change.
Okay.
I don't know if you do you meditate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you would know that when you are meditating, when you're giving that, there is a certain level of clarity that you
Yes.
get in your mind. I'm talking about the practicals. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about the spiritual here, because
Absolutely.
then we can go into another
yes,
dialogue.
Meditation is like a vast topic.
Yes,
We'll
yeah.
stick to
So
the
I'll
relationship
just
and the
talk-
communication.
Yes, I'll talk to that about just that. What happens is in those 15-20 minutes that your mind you're meditating, you have certain clarity, which if your partner doesn't have that, the partner lacks that clarity. So while you look at the situation differently than your partner does. If y'all are not on the same level. However, if y'all are meditating together, spiritually also, of course, y'all will vibe at the same level, which is very important. I feel your energy levels, your aura levels, your mental clarity, all will be together. So very interesting.
Isn't that?
Very, very interesting. I mean,
So
honestly.
definitely, I think it's very important to
Yeah.
meditate together as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
very,
you agree to it. Okay, so
very,
communication is very important.
very,
Meditating together is very important.
very.
Now coming to a topic which I don't know, I kind of find it funny recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I came across someone talking. He was like, "अरे हाँ, तो झगड़ने में तो प्यार बढ़ता है. तो झगड़ना, you should fight. Fighting makes your bond stronger." And I'm thinking, huh? What are you saying? Like, how can that help? And does that help? Is that true?
To some extent.
Really think so? I mean, fighting. I think I hate fighting.
I would always choose fighting over cold wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Any
of
time.
course, yeah. I agree.
When
to
you're
it.
talking about a cold, you would rather prefer your wife shouting at you than going in the kitchen and doing dun 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 with, while she's cooking, cutting with a knife. Cut, 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 cut. You wouldn't want that. अरे जो है वो बोल दे यार, topic खत्म कर.
हाँ.
You are talking. That person is talking.
But that's different. Like consistent fighting. Like they're hoping that they'll go home and they'll rather fight.
Oh,
Right?
that I don't know. That is a big topic.
Like, so I heard someone like, "Don't worry, I'll come for you only and we'll fight." And I'm like, aren't you like attracting that towards yourself? Like, okay, we're gonna come home and fight, right? I mean, if
You don't know what fights
it's
it.
not that Bhakti and I don't fight, right? We fights like literally cats and dogs. But when it comes to an understanding, she also has taken. Of course, we worked it out together. She understood that although I'm a male, I do have feelings, and I would love for her to come and say, apologize to me.
Of
Although
course.
99% time I'm the one going to apologizing, but there is that time where she realizes, okay, you know what, she fucked up, and she wants to come and say sorry, and there will be time, and she has a different way of saying sorry, like. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, you're saying it like you're ehsan kar rahi hai mere pe. But she has realized that, and we have worked together in that
Of
manner
course,
as well.
of
And then,
course.
fighting for us has become very, no, you know what, we hate it. And then we have made a point where we don't go to sleep while we are mad at each other. So,
You are looking at fighting as, for you, those moments were probably torturous moments.
Right.
Because mentally, you are connected to Bhakti. I mean, I know both of you all. So
Right.
I know that you all are very connected. You all connect, you all talk things out. So when you all are fighting, it's a completely negative thing, which is like a traumatic experience.
Right.
Why am I fighting? Why am I, I can have a dialogue about it. Why I hate fighting with her. Probably, the person you're referring to, maybe they have a bond which maybe they just, I don't know, some people are
like
that.
a fighting bond.
I don't know how that works, honestly. I don't know how long that works, because what you need to understand is when the couple is constantly fighting, one, you're not finding the person in the best of their energy.
Right.
You don't. You just don't. You're just mad at each other. While it's good, maybe it brings a bit of passion in the in the relationship. Maybe that is the reason why they like because it does bring out that side of yours. But I really don't know how much a couple can go on with just fighting and that be the communication between them, because a lot of things are said in anger which you can't take back, and the person who says it also repents. It's not, everything is not whatever you say in anger. While they say dil ki baat, I don't think dil ki baat nikalti hai
Right.
गुस्से में नहीं निकलती है. It's more God knows some venomous side of you mixed with God knows what shit that comes out. I don't think when you're in anger, it's from your heart. Though people say that, I beg to differ there.
Right.
Because it's not you. If that is a part of you, then there is a good side of you also who is really sad, and why did I say such a thing?
Right.
Right.
The guilt that comes out.
Yes, and a lot of times we say things which we are shocked कि कहाँ से निकला मेरे मुंह से. Hasn't that happened to you? It's happened to me. I mean, I feel like, why did I say it? I mean, where did that even come from? You're getting my
Yes.
point. So, I don't think, while for short term it's fun, especially if you're newly married, it could be fun.
Mm.
But in the long term, I don't think that really
That would
helps
work.
because it's very toxic. It's really toxic. It's imagine all the time fighting with that one person you're spending your life with. And I will say it like that because I don't know of any other relationship. While they say a mother and child bond is very deep, of course it is. I'm a mother myself. But when I share myself with my partner, there is a different level of intimacy on all levels,
Right.
right? You're intimate on all levels. So that type of closeness is with your partner. Imagine fighting with that person all the time. Imagine it doesn't, it's traumatic for that person, yes, but imagine what it's doing to
To
you.
yourself as well. Yes, absolutely.
You are not happy. You are not, in that anger, if that person says something which is, which came as a surprise to you, you can be, I mean, one sentence from your partner is enough to, ruin your entire self-confidence,
Absolutely.
your self-esteem, your, everything that you work hard to building yourself, Probably you think, I am so and so and so, and my wife thinks so and so about me. And in her anger, maybe she just, without realizing, puts a cold water. You are in that doubt whether am I really this?
Right.
Does she really think about me that way? Does she? It's a very toxic loop, and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
do not agree with that. It could be, as I said, some people might, it might bring out that one passionate side of theirs out, which it does really, but in the long term, I do
You
not.
don't think so. Is there a way to break that fight that you're about to have? Something funny that you can do, or something that you can talk with? Like, I'll tell you what I do. Right, recently, this is something that Pati and I both have been practicing. When we know that we're about to get into that serious ladai wala zone, right? One of us will end up cracking up, right? Something that we have kind of kept the trigger point. Okay, we're about to get into that zone, and we'll think of something funny, and we'll start cracking up. And somehow, some way, it works because if I'm
Uh-huh.
cracking up,
Huh.
she ends up cracking.
Yeah,
She's like, "Stop laughing! I'm mad at you." And then she'll start laughing at me, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I hate you! Stop laughing right now."
Yeah.
So, is there some other point that you can do? Like,
I personally, I mean, I just, this is what I would strongly recommend is at least for some time, just leave the room and clear your head and come back and talk.
okay, go for a drive maybe, or just a
Just
walk,
do
or not a
anything.
drive.
Just get out that space.
Okay.
Especially when you are like, your age level, right? You know your age level. And if you feel that, yes, you are above a 7, you better move out.
Okay.
Till 7, I think people can have a dialogue.
Right.
Yeah, a mental dialogue where they are calm, they are in the state to understand. Okay, once it becomes an 8, you are dangerously close to losing it.
Oh, you're about to cross the boundaries.
Yes, and then what you say is not something you can take back.
Right.
You wouldn't want to do that, so you move out, go out for a walk. Come calm yourself down and then come. Say, okay, we'll get back to this later.
Yeah.
Give me some time. Let me calm myself and come and talk to you. Right now, what I say is not the truth also. A lot of times it's not even the truth.
It's just an anger that
It's just, I just want to be mean. I just, at that moment, I just want to be so mean because, damn it, I'm hurting. I want to be mean to you and I'm saying all shit, which I don't even believe in. I've done that personally. So I talk a lot on my personal experiences. And in anger, I have done things which I am so ashamed of. Like,
I
why
wish
did I
I did
do
not.
it? I wish I didn't do it. And so whenever you feel like, okay, you're crossing a 7, just leave the room. Just leave and say, and make it, let it be an understanding between, and I'll tell you what, especially women, let the man go. I mean, don't let him go. No, talk right now. Abhi mere ko khatam karne ka.
Yeah.
There's an issue. There's an issue with that. So don't do that. Try to, take, if you
Take a
think
deep
you're not,
breath.
yeah, take a deep breath. Just leave the room. Leave the room is the best option,
Yeah.
I feel, to not, hold on to that situation and go on with it, because then it gets too toxic. So,
This reminds me of a very funny movie. I don't remember the funny movie right now, but in their head, he's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm beating you up right now in my head." He's like, "That's what I'm doing."
yeah.
He's like, "Well, imagine me fighting back." Like, make it happen. Like, you can really work that out sometimes.
Yeah,
It
and
works.
I feel such like you accept the fact that a problem with us especially. See, I talk about India because this is my place.
Right.
I can talk. I do not want to talk about other places because I don't really know.
How it works.
Yes, considering the way India is, we are so much sold on Bollywood now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so we feel marriage is Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, or we that's
Well, it is till the time you're married.
exactly.
Right.
But and after that, suddenly
Then
that
they're
Simran
married.
becomes Dayan for you, and that Raj becomes God knows what for you. So
Ari, this reminds you of a very funny situation. You've seen that movie, Shadi Karke Phas Gaya Hai?
no.
I think that's what it is. It's Vidya Balan and this actor Farhan Akhtar. Okay, so there's this meme that's recently going across
Okay.
where the Farhan Akhtar comes home and she's like really pissed off, right? And it's like, why are you mad? It's like, because you went out. It's like, but I asked you. I asked you if I can go with my friends. It's like, she was like, yeah, I told you, अगर तुमको जाना है तो जाओ. तो उसका अगर तुमको जाना है तो जाओ का मतलब क्या? हाँ, मुझे जाना है. You said okay, go, and I went. So why are you mad? So, well, okay, then you went. I'm mad. But why are you mad? Because I told you, अगर तुम्हें जाना है तो जाओ. तो उसका मतलब क्या है? Right? So is that true? Is this what you did as well somehow, somewhere? Or is this just a movie-based thing? Okay, you have to read a woman's mind.
I'll tell you what
Yes is a
happens.
no.
Is this a bad? Are you trying to figure out? Okay, I'll tell you what. With women, we when we talk amongst ourselves.
Right.
Okay, when we talk amongst ourselves, a lot of times we don't need to talk. It's a very non-verbal communication is very strong between women. Men don't get that. I understand because men, I think everything needs to be told. You need to be specified. You need to be, and as I said, this is a very again how we are brought up. Also, it's a very Bollywood concept where you kind of expect your partner to be a mind reader. Yeah, especially for women. A lot of times we expect our partners. Men don't expect that. I have seen that because maybe they don't see that happening amongst themselves. But most of the women, they expect their man to understand non-verbal communication, which probably another woman would. Okay, and she would. Like if I am. I just look at my sister and she'll understand what I have to say. I don't have to tell, ki jaake ye kar ya. Like if I'm, for example, if I'm in the hall and I something is there happening in the kitchen, and if I'm like, I'll just do this now, she'll go and do it and come back. Man will like, oh, he will not know what I'm talking about, right? Those are non-verbal communication, even otherwise. So yeah, women expect men to be mind readers. Men are not, and yeah,
Right?
I guess.
It's like that incident. Like, is that pink? No, that's magenta.
Yeah, so that's what this is. That also is a
Pink.
this is hot pink, by the
Right.
way.
Yeah. Yes. It's
This
hot
is hot pink.
pink. There you go. I don't know what else to say now. Yeah, got there. A proper.
So you
man
know,
woman thing.
right? There are studies on this that men can't see all colors. You're aware of that, right?
There's so many things that we have to think about of what the women's are thinking. How are we going to think about the colors?
What nonsense!
Yes, isn't that?
No,
I mean,
not at all.
It's like, oh my god. It's like yes or no, it's just say yes or no. You don't want me to go say no, I won't go. But luckily I'm blessed with that relationship that I have. She said no. Like they're like, okay, this is what I have. I'm like, no. This is what I'm like, yes. And I love that. Truly love that about her because she has that opinion that okay, it has to be that way. She won't go like I don't know what it is, and but when it comes to like if I have to go out with my friends, yeah, so go. Whatever. The weird part is my friends love her more than they love me. That's the crazy part. But it's something that I think everyone should have with their spouses. But we'll continue with.
But I'll tell you what, I think the credit also goes to you because you let her be. She has the comfort level of telling you what she thinks. and she knows that she's not going to be not heard. A lot of women face that problem where they feel that maybe they won't be heard, especially in India because we have patriarchal families. Uh, the upbringing is such that whatever the father says or maybe the elder brother says is the truth, and it's not going to change. So they take the same thing in the husband's place, and if the guy is not sensible enough, he lets the same thing continue. So the wife never really truly opens up what she really wants. And when that doesn't happen, when she's not opening, and then these things come up where you are not able to talk, when you're not able to connect. Oh, I think, people talk about celebrating. Of course, I am not against celebrations. You should celebrate as much as you can. But I think, every day, find at least half an hour or 1 hour. Do nothing with your partner. Just be with it. Don't even put Netflix on. Like when they say, oh, I sat with my partner. Did what? Netflix. Don't. For some time, don't. Just sit in with maybe your balcony or in your hall. Just don't do anything. You will see. You will end up connecting more.
Right.
Instead of not like you're not spending time with the partner, go ahead, spend time. No, I'm not against Netflix. I mean, I always talk about Netflix is going to sue me one day because, yeah, because I'm like, but that's how it's become. You kind of become numb with it, with content. And I'm not against watching it. I'm not against. But then if your priorities in life are not taken care of, and relationship is a huge priority, right? It's one of the top priorities people have. So if that is your priority, and if you think watching Netflix with your partner is spending time with your partner, while it could be, spend at least half an hour with your partner without Netflix on, without anything, not even dinner. Just sit with your partner.
Sure.
And you will know where, and then give that space, let that space be open for both the partners to talk what they want. Let it be anything.
Yeah, can be anything.
Let be anything. Maybe the wife is a homemaker, but maybe she is telling you about how her day went and how irritating it was. But while I understand, maybe it's for the husband, नहीं मेरी माँ के बारे में बोल रही है, मेरे इसके agreed. I agree. She's talking about your mother. I agree. She's talking about your sister. Maybe she's cribbing how the day went. But she's telling you because she trusts you.
Yeah.
Because she loves you, and she's not expecting you to go and fix it for her. What men need to understand this about women is we don't expect you to fix it. We just want you to listen. We just want you to understand where we are coming from. We're not asking you to. I mean, the wife will probably hit you if you go and tell the mother something. Because she doesn't want you to do it. She doesn't want you to go and, set things right for her. Because she'll hate it. She wants to handle it the way she wants to handle it, but she wants you to understand and empathize with her. That's all she wants. The moment you give her that, she's a super queen.
Right.
That is the basic what a woman needs. She doesn't need you to do anything.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, very evolved guy. So I will say evolved, an artist. So we were just talking, and this is when I was married, and all husbands and wives and all sitting together, and we were at least 5 or 6 couples, and he suddenly says, Sheena wants me to become a Khan. I was like, Kya? What? Sheena wants me to become a Khan. I'm her Khan. I said, what Khan? Ear? I'm just a ear. Sometimes I feel she thinks I look also like a ear because she's going constant, pata, and I'm the best husband because I can only listen. I'm listening, yes, darling. Yes. And trust me, I mean, it's a joke, but I yet have to see a more loving couple than that. Extremely sweet, extremely, she is just what she is. She's a photographer, he's an artist, and so well together. Love the way they are. Just love it. But that car thing it stood out to me till date. Like, yeah, what is a woman asking? Just a year. कार नहीं चाहिए उसको सिर्फ कार.
सुनते रहो गाली.
सुनो that bottom line, that's all a woman wants out of it. She doesn't want you to fight her battles. She wants you to understand where she comes from. She just wants you at the end of the day, pat on her back from her husband saying, I know it's difficult. Thank you, love. You love me. Thank you. You are doing so much for me. Thank you. This is all she wants. Nothing
Comes home
else.
from work, she goes like, "Oh my God, that girl was such a bitch today." Yeah, absolutely, honey, you're right. I know you understand me so well. This reminds me of an ad that I've seen. It's again a meme that has come across. So this person behind the counter is on the phone. He's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Another man comes. He went to a bathroom, comes back, takes the phone, and walks out. Continues. Mhm. Ah, yes. A perfect way to talk to your wife. You know, you see that?
Yeah, it is too, it's an extreme, but there's truth to
And
that.
that's also one more thing that I've come across. There was this couple that was married 60 years, 55, 60 years. The couple was 75, 80 years. So they had got
Oh.
married at a very early age. I think they were their childhood love, right? And I asked him, I was in a relationship at that time with someone else, of course. And I'm like, how did you do that? He's like, 2 words. I'm like, what is it? He's like, yes, ma'am. I was like, okay. He's like, just whatever she says, say yes, ma'am. But do what you have to do.
I don't know if I
Right?
agree with
So
that.
I'm
but-
like, okay, does that work? He's like, I've been married for this long. Oh, I haven't. I'm like, yes. So he's like, so, and that happened where like it came across. So he had 2 rings selected for her. And he's like, okay, I like this one, and and he knew which one he liked. So he's like, I know she's gonna go select the opposite one of what I like. So he has selected one that he'd like this one. He's like, but don't tell her I like this one. We'll tell her I like this one. Okay. So he got like, this 2 we have selected, and I really like this one. He's like, but honey, I don't like this one. I like this one. He's like, okay, dear, you go with that one. And he looked at me and he winked. And I, I know how that works. So that was a beautiful relationship that I had personally came across, and I was like, wow, this works wonders. And with my relationship that I am with Patni right now, that I've done that a lot. A lot
I
of
don't
times.
see you doing that.
I do that. Why do you think I'm happy right now?
Oh no. I know that is not the truth. I
So,
know that is not.
yeah, no.
I know you too well, Kabirr.
So yeah, I wish that I would have known this earlier, and I think I'm gonna teach this to the future generation as well. That you just have to kind of let
I
go,
think,
be cool about it.
What I like about, I mean, if I can talk about both of you,
Please.
is I actually like the fact that you all give each other the space to be them, be yourself, and that's what I think keeps you going. Because I mean, I know you fight, not like yeah, that is expected, but the bottom line is no one's trying to overpower the other, and you're supportive of each other on your journeys, which I think is very important. And I think that's what goes for you. I don't think it's about you saying yes, ma'am. It's about this.
No, it is
Oh,
about
bull.
saying yes.
I don't believe it.
I say
I'll never believe it. I can talk for Bhakti. I'll never believe it.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you, right? I think before we met, you were talking about we won't take names here, of course, but someone that had mentioned to you that she was in a toxic relationship, and unfortunately it broke off, and now she's in a good relationship where she's happy, but she's missing the ex, what technically, according to her, was toxic. How does person know that relationship have become toxic, or what they have to work upon? Like, what is toxic exactly?
Nowadays I feel the words toxic is just thrown. Because a lot of times I feel there are relationships that can be worked on, and they just assume it's toxic because you are not okay with it. You have these checklists floating everywhere on social media, and they assume that, okay, this is true for me, this is true for me, this is true for me, so my relationship is toxic. That's what I feel a lot of times. See, you need to understand, when you are entering a relationship, a marriage, or anything, there is going to be compromise. And I think this is something both the parties need to understand and enter into that. You cannot enter a relationship thinking, I'm going to be 100% me, she's going to be 100% you, and it's going to be no. When you're talking about 100%, It's going to be 50% you. It's going to be 50%. It's not going to be 100%, 100%. How will it survive? It's not going to survive. It has to be 50%. It has to be 50%. And that 50% is also not exact 50%. Sometimes you might be putting 25, she's putting 75. Sometimes you are putting 65, maybe she's putting 35. That's how it works. That's how a marriage works. It really doesn't work you being 100%, that person being 100%. Doesn't work that way. It's like otherwise they're two individuals, complete different individuals living together. It's not a marriage. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? You are different when you're living alone. You are very different when you're living alone, and you're very different when you're living with a spouse. Reason? Because when you're living alone, you're 100% you. With your spouse, you're 50% you. Because you have to meet that spouse halfway, right? So this particular couple, she went into this relationship with the next person, and she started missing her previous guy a lot. Where I look at it is she's probably not over the ex, and she left because it wasn't it just wasn't working. In such situation, ideally, I would say first work on that existing situation that was over there. She didn't heal from it. She broke up and then suddenly went into this others because, of course, he approached, and that's how normally things anyways work, right? Either you approach or that person approaches, and but I don't think this girl even took time to heal from that situation and jump into a new thing completely. What happens is, whenever there is a breakup, how much ever drastic it is, you think at that time, oh, I'm never going to see this person's face. I hate him. I do this. I hate her. I don't want to see her face. But you're not over it. That is anger talking. That is your feelings talking. Only when you can heal can you actually move on. She hadn't taken time to heal. So now imagine being in a situation where you broke up with your ex because you thought he was toxic. There also, I feel maybe had she worked, maybe, of course, he also needs to be equally involved in wanting the relationship to work. If that is what is going to happen between them, maybe that could have happened. But that didn't happen. So this particular lady thought, she was over him. She broke up with that person and went into someone new. Had she actually spoken over there, and if the partner was ready, I feel that was a relationship that could have worked on. And it's based on what she said, because what she mentioned is, no, our thoughts didn't match, our this didn't match, our that. But then there was something that you initially fell for, right? Maybe, if you would have worked on that, maybe, or maybe not. Let's understand. But the most damaging part of here is she didn't take time to heal. Now she's with someone who really treats her right. But she can't help miss this because that is something she's not over. So while you can look at it as maybe she's used to toxicity, maybe there is, we always get drawn to what our experiences have been. Maybe that has been. But I personally feel that whenever you have opportunities come your way for healing, you better take that opportunity. A breakup is a perfect time to heal everything inside you.
Yeah.
If you ask me, it's because right now you don't have a partner, you have just yourself to work on. People will also understand because you're going through that. They will understand whatever changes that come. That's a perfect time for you to heal and heal everything. Heal your trauma, heal your internal issues, heal where you're coming from, and that no better time than a breakup. So had she taken that time, now she finds herself in a mess where she has a guy who's really treating her right. Everything all checklists are marked, but she cannot stop thinking about this.
Yeah.
Because she's not over that. How can you even start? Even if you get something new, it's not going to be a fresh start. Mostly it goes like a rebound. And then you don't even want to hear that it's a rebound. Because you're not happy with yourself. Who would want to have a rebound? I mean, even they say, even the person who has that, who's taken that other person as a rebound, is not happy with the fact that it's probably a rebound, but that's what it looked like. And I don't know, it's very sad that people, this idea of, healing from a relationship is not taken. They say, work ठीक करेगा. Work ठीक नहीं करता है. What does time do? Time only puts that pain below, and then when some trigger happens, it comes out in a different format.
Maybe time gives you an opportunity to heal yourself.
Yeah, it gives you, that's all it does, but it doesn't heal you.
Yeah.
Healing you need to do. You need
Right.
to
You
work
have to
on
work
that,
on yourself.
on yourself. You have to get that pain out. You have to face that pain. You have to see what has gone wrong. You have to do forgiveness over there. There are people who literally play whatever has happened between them and their parents in their marriages. Most of the time, that's what happens. You always end up, the woman always looks for a father. She relates to her husband in that manner. The husband always relates to, as a how he probably with the mother. That is the relationship goes on. People from two different, complete different backgrounds, complete different strata of society, everything, they come together, and when they are together, they build whatever, and now when they are away, they build something over there, right? They suddenly you expect that to not affect you. It's gonna affect you like anything. And then when you move on to it, then you say, work theek ho jayega, ignore it, drink, substance abuse. Most of the time, this is what people do, right? Or they have a series of links.
Right.
What else? How else does a person handle this?
Right.
There are no other ways that a person normally handles it.
So that
Either you're
part
drinking.
is very important. How you treat yourself.
Yes. Because at this time when you have just broken up with your partner, you are not taking, this is the time when actually everything has come up for you. It has, you are broken deep down, it has anyways, that has got you thinking about everything. I remember when I was broken, when I broke up, when I was away, I was alone. In those nights, I could think of everything. I thought about how my childhood went, how my every bad thing that ever not.
Think about.
Yeah, you think? I mean, I don't know. You must have gone through a breakup yourself.
Absolutely.
So you tell me, when you were at that point, didn't you think about everything sad?
Yeah. Sad
Everything
song.
sad. Everything sad. Some friend somewhere who you're not even in touch with treated you somewhere. उसने मेरे को ऐसा बोला. You will remember it at that time, because that is the time when everything comes up. So isn't that the best time to heal?
Heal and forgive.
Yes, heal
How
and forgive.
important is forgiveness as well? Because since we are talking about healing, of course, healing is a crossover procedure.
Yes.
But then I think at somehow, is it linked to forgiving the person as
Very,
well?
very.
Like, it has been like, हो सकता है कि उसने कुछ किया है और उसने कुछ नहीं किया है. So how important it is?
See, the point is, उसने कुछ किया है, नहीं किया है. The person is not in your life.
No.
Correct? The problem with forgiveness is people think forgiveness matlab I am Mother Teresa or I am someone very big if I'm forgiving. Point is, it's very practical. Forgiveness does not mean that you are agreeing or you're condoning what the opposite person is doing. You are just letting go of the pain and that emotional burden that you are carrying on your shoulders of that particular incident or that particular person. Isn't that the most practical thing to do? It's letting down that burden. That is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not done for the opposite person. Forgiveness is done for you. So it is the most important thing I feel when you're in your healing process. Forgiving that person. So when you are looking, see, humans are blessed with an amazing memory. Okay, you ask yourself, ki, for example, say you are someone who had a very strict father. Anything happened, he would hit you. If this is your background, has been your background, okay, you have held all those grudges against your father for so many years, okay. When you forgive, it's not that you forget that this person has hit me. All it does is, you do not get triggered by that incident, by remembering. Right now, your father is not hitting you, no. जो भी हुआ बचपन में हुआ.
Yeah.
You are remembering that. Probably after that, that person has done a lot of good things. But you will not think all that. All that is shadowed. Why? Because that person hit you. If you forgive that person for this particular hitting, okay, maybe your relationship with him might develop, maybe not develop. But for yourself, this pain that you saw with him, of him hitting you, if you kind of cut the link between the emotional link between this and the way you react.
Right.
That's what you basically do when you forgive. So you are looking at the same incident tomorrow, even when you remember these, it won't trigger you emotionally as much as it did before you forgive that person. So that is what forgiveness is. I think that's so important in healing. It's the
You have to let go.
you have to. That's the base of everything I do, because without that you cannot move ahead.
Right. Right.
How do you move ahead in life? How do you move carrying a burden in your life and getting into the next relationship? Carry that emotional baggage in the next relationship. Abhi wo bhi toot gaya. Carry that and this and what are you carrying into your relationships?
Right. And if you don't forgive, does that affect if you're a single parent? Like you have Kushi, she's beautiful, I love her. How does it affect if you wouldn't have forgiven your ex? And is it okay for you to allow your kid to be part of your ex? Because I know that you allow Kushi to be part of your ex. So how does that feel, and are you okay, and are you comfortable with that? And how much of a forgiveness matter to that?
A lot. A lot. See, especially now, since you've spoken about single parenting, I'll talk about this and it's very, very important that everyone realizes. While it's okay to have issues between couples, but don't drag it to your children. Just don't drag it to your children. Don't let your children be. I mean, you know my relationship with Kushi. Kushi knows everything. She knows what's happening. She knows. At the same time, she knows I've never hidden the pluses of my ex either from her. She knows she's in communication with him. He's not in the country, so she obviously, they talk on WhatsApp. When he came down some time back, she went and met him. I've never stopped that.
Right.
That's not something I would want to do, because while for me, he's just my ex-partner. For my daughter, he's her father. And that you shouldn't forget. So, I have never forgotten that part, that whatever happens, he is her father. See, personally, Kabir, it was very difficult for me to forgive my ex. Extremely difficult. Because it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people who suffered. My entire family suffered. My daughter suffered. And to see her pain was not something which was... I mean, my daughter is everything for me. To see her suffer, I couldn't forgive him for that. It was very easy to forgive him for what happened to me. Very, very easy. It didn't matter. But what happened to her and how my father was, dragged into all of this, that was very painful for me. That was the difficult part. But once I started working on that, I had to consciously do that. I had to consciously, to a point where, today if that man comes and stands in front of me, I can at least have a cordial conversation.
Hey, what's up?
I don't know if it will be, hey, what's up?
Okay.
But it will be a normal, serious conversation where I can talk. I can talk to you without taking a hammer to your head.
Okay.
Which was what I was earlier. I could have seeing him, I used to feel like, when during the divorce procedures, because he's overseas, we used to have a video call. Yeah, that's how I used to see him in that, and I used to want to enter the phone and strangle him.
Joking.
Honest to God, that's the level of anger I used to feel. And I'm telling you this, to bring it down to a point where I can nicely talk. Okay. Hi, hello. Okay, happy. Topic ends there. I can do that. But to bring myself to this level has taken a lot of work on my part. A lot of understanding, a lot of, letting go. It's okay, whatever. That's a process, and that's very important, I feel. It's not just for that person, for yourself. For me, I feel free,
Yeah.
Look at it the way let's talk about just how I am feeling about it. I don't have the guilt of coming in between a father and a daughter.
Right.
I don't have that. I just don't have that. I don't care tomorrow. I mean, if my daughter wants to go and visit him in his country, I don't have a problem. I don't care. because I don't have anything standing on my head. इसको मेरी बेटी को ये पता चलेगा तो मैंने उसको ऐसा बोला मेरे हस्बैंड के बारे में, वो उसको कुछ और बोलेगा तो I don't care.
It's Khushi's choice.
It's her choice, and it's always better is that way, because seriously, it's not fair. It's not fair in my eyes. I feel okay if it's so damaging. I understand. If there is someone who's really bad, I understand. You know, you really need to keep your children away. If there's physical involved, you know, violence, a lot of shit happens. All that is there, then I understand keeping. But in normal circumstances, in normal relationships, I don't think you should be
Taking them away. Absolutely.
It's not fair. And a lot of times I feel fathers are alienated from the children, which is not fair to a large extent. And if you as a parent can help it, you should help it. Is my personal. Yeah.
I really appreciate that, you know, because what happens a lot of time is, you know, how you said that, you know, only if, like, a relationship is really bad. Sometimes we don't understand the difference, right? Sometimes, like, you know, we just spoke about, like, you know, like you said that, okay, when I saw him, I just wish I would just want to, like, go inside and just choke him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
See, now you're saying this in front of me, that's okay, right?
Yeah.
You're okay because we have freedom of speech. Now, a lot of time what people think is that, okay, you know, sometimes you're like, "Arey yaar, I wish I could just," you know. So, kya ho jata hai uske andar? Is that okay? Like, "Arey, you know, he's thinking of, you know, hurting you." You've been in a relationship for a very long time, and just one thing you've said, like, you know, the anger part that comes across. How much a person should really hold on to that particular part? Like, you know, like you're talking to a third party, and then, you know, you said that, hey, you know, I wish I had done that. How much does that hold, and is it okay to let go of that part?
You should.
Like, you know, it's like,
you should. I mean, a lot of times, now, for example, you know, while talking, I have this habit as ek chamat marungi.
right.
I talk that, you know, I say that, I like ek chamat dungi. I don't really mean it, right? I don't really mean it. I'm talking, I feel a lot of time people believe, usne isko aise bola, isne usko aise bola. Has he told you that? You don't know in what context he said. You don't know what context he said it or what she meant it, or you don't even know. You're just taking one part. It is simple, like, you know, how you talk about news. You take one conversation. You don't know what is the context, boss. You don't know what is the entire thing.
Media loves manipulating things.
But doesn't that happen in a normal life?
Absolutely.
When someone comes, in what context? In what context? I'm not saying they are wrong. I'm not saying.
Has he or she has even hit you, touched you, done anything to you? No, not really.
Yeah.
But he said that, or she said that.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. He said that, she said that, this one said this. It's
like the topic we had earlier.
You don't know what is the A, B, C of it. You are just saying an R or S and saying, how usne aisa bola? Are? Kyun bola? There must be some reason, na. There must be some, in what context?
Right.
Understand the context. And yes, maybe the context is also not okay with you. While I understand, have a frank talk and finish it off with and let it go. What are you going to get by holding on to it? What are you going to get by holding on to any kind of a grudge? That person has moved on.
I think that's more you're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
And if you have your kids with you, you're holding them back as well.
Exactly. Because, see, if I am all the time angry, assuming, like if I take my situation, I know my daughter, maybe, you know, because she tells me, Dad had messaged. If I, suppose I'm that angry, me, like, how dare he message? क्या बोल रहा होगा? क्या, what is he saying? What? How is it helping me? So legally, I cannot stop her from talking to him. All I can, and getting angry, thinking about it, getting upset about it. So how is it helping me? He's not talking to her. He's getting what? He's done what he has to do, and he's gone to another country. He's done whatever. He's moved on, boss. Who's crying? I am crying. Who's angry? I am angry. Who's not forgiving? The moment I forgive, I'm letting go, no?
Absolutely.
Bad mein gaya. Okay, you talk. What can you do?
Nothing.
Half the situations in our life, or that anger that we have on someone, some friend of yours said something to you while you were in college. You just get angry. You're not even in touch with that friend. So, 10 साल के बाद मिलोगे उसको, और फिर तूने उस, आई विल नॉट सी दिस पर्सन फेस, मेरे को वो पार्टी में जाने, वो आ रहा है, मैं वो पार्टी में नहीं जाऊंगा। हाँ? वो 10 साल हो गया, दैट मैन माइट बी कंप्लीट डिफरेंट
Different
पर्सन।
person, yeah.
Why would you do this? I mean, what is the point? And even if, okay, assuming you will not go to the party, how does it matter to that man, boss? He's gone and met. You are the one who's suffering, right? Let it go. You let go. Go and enjoy the party. For all you know, you might connect again.
Yeah, you never know.
So, what is the point of holding things and keeping
Letting
them
go.
like prized possessions? Keep good memories as prized possessions. You want to only hold on to something. Hold on to the good things.
Hold on to the good things. Absolutely.
There's so many good things in life. There's so many nice things that happen to every moment, to us every moment. Hold on to that. Hold on to gratitude. Look at the good things that happen to your life. Hold on to those things. Why will you hold on to things that you should let go?
Wow. Letting go. I think the most toughest
It
thing a
is tough.
person can do
It is
letting
tough.
go.
While I try to making it sound like
It's easy.
it's easy, but it is tough. Let's face it, it is tough. Which is why emotional healing is the toughest thing to do. I understand that. My point to everyone is just this: that if you are not going to heal emotionally, you will never be able to live your life fully.
Fully. Yes, absolutely. Very well said. That's the Kabirr Vani for today. Yes, that's the Kabirr. We had a good discussion on the taboo and the most gossip topic of life. There was letting go, moving on. I think we covered variety of things where we have spoken about how people breaking up is a different thing, divorce is a big different thing. But I think everything is landing up to letting go and forgiveness.
Yes.
Very important. I truly appreciate you as a person that I know you are, and you're allowing your daughter to be part of his life as well, which is very important. I think for not only for you, but I think for him, and most importantly, Khushi, because she will always never feel like missing a man in her life. You know, it's not that you cannot do a good job out of it,
Correct.
but both Nar and Nari is needed.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
her
Of
life,
course,
you
of
know.
course, of course.
It's very important. I really appreciate you for that, and I really wish that a lot of people who out there are going through this. Please let go. It's very important for you to do that. Aparna, before we do the closure, can you please give a nice thing, or what would you like to tell our viewers and our listeners who are going through this situation, and what can they do, and something very small to help them out be strong? You know?
I'd say if you are actually going through the situation, take help. Take help. Do not, go through this entire thing alone. You're not alone. I mean, this is not now in today's generation, especially. There's so much help available. You can always get in touch with me if you require any kind of assistance where healing is concerned, or you have some questions regarding divorce or separation or any of that. I have my courses also. You can check out my courses. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always book an appointment where I can talk. We can, work something out on one-to-one basis also. There is help, but you take help and be strong. I mean, you need to understand you have just one life to live. You decide how you want to live. That is very important. That if you, the moment we know we are humans, we have a life maybe max 100 years, right? Max I'm talking about. Normally people have 80 years. I'm taking 100 years. Not more than 100 years. But then you have just one life. Make the most out of it. Don't give up.
All right. Well, again, thank you, and I'm glad to have Aparna here today. And I really hope you guys have learned a lesson, or you have got a lot of value out of this today's show, because a lot of people are going through this. Especially we don't talk about divorces and breakups or anything that is a toxic relationship. Most importantly, we are not willing to forgive. I hope that you forgive. I request you to forgive. It's very important, not for the other person's sake, but for your own sake. Until next time, or Kabirr Vani.